Welcome to the Atlantic Indie RoundA'Bout here at CIOE 97.5 FM. I'm your host, Maurice Aucoin, and we are streaming live to the world at www.communityradio.ca. We are going to discuss and celebrate independent artists' music from all over the Atlantic region and beyond. Let's all get on the Atlantic Indie RoundA'Bout right now.
Standing on the top of the world, looking down. I don't wanna fall when the fear gets too much. I don't wanna crash into the waiting crowds. Tired of facing the same old situations, gotta save them in the nick of time. I want a day, give me some space. I wanna sleep straight through the night. If I had a simple life, I sit and celebrate, and in the quiet I would close my eyes and drift away. I'd take my time in the sun, I would always be young if I could taste a simple life. I'm sick of chasing those higher expectations, but I never reach the finish line. I'd settle for less if the rest of the world would see that no one makes it out alive. But if I had a simple life, I'd sit and celebrate, and in the quiet I would close my eyes and drift away. I'd take my time in the sun, I would always be young if I could taste. If I could just take off this cape, give myself a break, take my time and save the world another day. But I don't, and I won't, no I don't. But if I had a simple life, I'd sit and celebrate, and in the quiet I would close my eyes and drift away. I'd take my time in the sun, I would always be young if I could taste. If I had a simple life, I'd sit and celebrate, and in the quiet I would close my eyes and drift away. I'd take my time in the sun, I would always be young if I could taste. Young if I could taste. Young if I could taste a simple life.
Here we are in the Roundabout with Robert Campbell, and a pleasure to have you on today for the show. I guess the first thing we like to do is kind of introduce you to our listening audience. You do work like your duo, Campbell and Green,
yeah,
which you have, 2 or 3 albums out now?
6.
Wow. So you guys have been writing and recording music for quite a few years then?
Yeah, about officially and seriously for about 12 years.
And before that you were in theater?
My wife was. That's where we met. I was managing a 500-seat theater in Maple Ridge, BC. Kaylin came into, my wife came in to rent the theater about 17, 18 years ago maybe, and we ended up hitting it off later on. A couple of years later, we were both kind of separated from previous situations, and we ended up playing together. So playing music, and she had me in a theater production that she wrote, produced, directed, and So
you performed a lot in Vancouver playing music at the time?
Absolutely. I moved there in '86 from Edmonton, and played a lot of music around there. Moved there for the Expo '86, and working with a few different artists there, and playing the Expo shows and stuff. But we were touring bands, the recording artist stuff, So,
Wow.
yeah, that's when I moved there, and then ended up out in Maple Ridge because I had the woman I was with, the mother of my child, had a child, and I wanted to get off the road a little bit and not touring in buses and planes and hotels is fun and games, but not if you have a kid. So I pulled back from that a bit and bought a house in Maple Ridge, and then ended up producing a festival there and doing this art center theater job. I guess I was contracted as an employee for a couple of 3 years, and it was good. Yeah,
it's all connected. You studied music in college too, or university, so. It definitely made it a lot easier for you to forge your way, and you had the smarts to avoid a lot of pitfalls of that whole
no
career and all that.
I was young and stupid.
Oh, were you? Oh, good. I feel so much better now. Now I'm in better company because I was there too.
Yeah. No, I was. I started playing in bands when I was 17, like everybody else, and started playing in bars and touring, around Alberta and Western Canada by the time I was 19 or 20, and just doing little gigs. And then once I was of age, I did a lot of touring. For 6 months, I didn't even have a home. I just on the road. So I've done those gigs too, right? So
yeah. What would you call your musical direction at the time? Were you like in the country circuit? Or you trained in jazz, I believe, didn't you?
Trained in jazz. Took classical pipe organ. Did all that. It was the Western Board Conservatory of Music, and did jazz at college because that's what you did, and never really played like a serious jazz gig per se, and I've was doing rock and then later country. I toured with a rock band, A circuit show band, and did all that stuff through the 70s, early 80s, and played country. Started playing country. Played with Gary Lee in Showdown. Remember him?
Yeah, I have the LP.
Well, it's 40 below.
I have that LP.
Yeah. So. And that was in Edmonton and throughout around the western provinces, and And then
you've worked with quite a few people actually over the years. I noticed when I was going through your bio, some of the people that you work with, Buddy Knox, Party Doll,
Party Doll. Yeah.
That's neat. And when you're in, like you said, that's a different generation of music, but it's neat that you cross paths with it a little bit. That's wonderful.
Yeah, well, and Ray Sawyer and Susan Jacks and Patricia Conroy has played with her for a while, and other people from that.
Those names are, they're not long forgotten. Those names are people that are half our age know who Susan Jacks is.
Well,
so
the Poppy
that's great.
Family.
Yeah.
A lot of people know the Poppy Family or Terry Jacks or something.
That's right. That's fabulous.
Bloodshot eyes staring back from your coffee. Man, you've got the blues. You've read the mail, you've done the numbers. Looks like you're going under. Money in your pockets, slipping through the hole. You can't afford to buy new clothes. But don't take your troubles to the grave. Don't take them. If you don't let them know, they'll just drag you down anyway. Find a way to make a change. Just make them. Don't worry about yesterday, let it slip away. Don't take your troubles to the grave. Happy days, they seem so far behind you. Smiles only bring you down. You feel so low, looking up at the bottom. cloudy days, you got 'em. Your one true love walked out the door, left you lying face down on the floor. But don't take your troubles to the grave. Don't take 'em. If you don't let them go, they'll just drag you down anyway. Find a way to make a change. Just make 'em. Don't worry about yesterday, let it slip away. Don't take your troubles to the grave. You know there's always someone who needs you. So don't take your troubles to the grave. Don't take them. If you don't let them go, they'll just drag you down anyway. Find a way to make a change. Just make them. Don't worry about yesterday, let it slip away. Don't take your troubles to the grave. Don't take them. Just make them. I said don't take your troubles to the grave. I said don't take your troubles to the grave.
We'll be right back with more of the Atlantic Indie Roundabout with me, your host, Maurice Aucoin.
There's a little boy child, he liked to play ball, couldn't keep from kissing the girls in the hall. The blue eyes a twinkling would knock him dead, the kind of smile that would turn their heads. Always had trouble in his right hand, the left one open to fight the man. Coyote took another run, always wild and always wicked, always under the gun. Coyote took another run. He liked taking chances, he liked running wild, he loved sneaking glances at the women in the aisles. His Roman left wreckage that couldn't be undone. Ain't no refuge from the smoking gun. So damned high on a 10-day run, sometimes he thought he was the sun. Coyote took another run, always wild and always wicked, always under the gun. Coyote always wild and always wicked, always under the gun. Coyote took another run.
We're now going to continue our conversation with Robert Campbell here on the Atlantic Indie Roundabout. Well, I'll tell you, there's no harm in that, I guess, which leads you to how you went from Maple Ridge to Halifax.
Well, my wife, Kaylin, and I hooked up, like I said, 15, 16, 17 years ago over that time frame, and we bought a house in Maple Ridge, had a home, and we didn't want to play cover tunes. We wanted to learn how to write music, so we dove into that, and I started hosting house concerts and also getting the artists in to do workshops. So the day before or the day after or whatever, I'd get them in. I'd say, hey, come, would you do a songwriting workshop? And some of them did. And so we had our free songwriting workshops and invited folks to come in and just dove into it and started writing. We played a lot and decided that we wanted to change. We had sold our house. I got a call from a great local guitar player out here, Thomas Meissen, who I had met when we hired Thomas Meissen and his backup band, the band that he's with, to back us up for the big shows. And I got a call from Thomas one day when we were in the thick of looking for new homes. He says, you should come out to Nova Scotia. I got a spare room. You can sleep in the basement there. Come and visit and see what it's like, you know. And the next day we bought a ticket. A couple of days later, we were out here. And we toured around, traveled around. We looked for like 2 weeks. And after about a week of looking at the area and sniffing around, we started looking at houses. And we said, well, let's take that one and see what happens, right? So we bought a house. We packed up all our crap and moved out here. Very spur of the moment. Really.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite, you know, it's one coast to the other. You still got the smell of salt water, I guess. That's a great story. Did you bring your house concert series to here? Yes, you did.
We did. The house that we bought in East Preston was a large home, and it had a 1,500 square foot basement, 1,000 square foot main room that was a house concert space. So we hosted house concerts. We've had, you know, a lot of the locals like Laura Smith, Kim Dunn, Ian Sherwood, all these folks. We've had
that's a who's who that you've got of lists. I mean,
we had Sherry Ulrich in from the coast. She's an old friend of mine, and Valdi and Gary Felgard are old acquaintances of mine from doing gigs with them back. So you're a great contact for when they do a tour. Like say they come down to Stan Rogers Festival. Yeah.
That's lovely. So playing some of your tunes.
Good. Okay.
A lot of videos you've done with your wife. You did a Christmas album. Is that the last album that you did together?
Last album would be the Christmas album, yeah.
Right on. And we'll be featuring that on a Christmas special coming up too. So that's cool. Great. I'm glad you have that.
Right on.
So when it comes to writing, do you guys share all the writing together, or do you guys...
Yeah, pretty much. I do a lot of co-writing with other people through Zooms from around the world. But the stuff that's in our albums is mostly stuff that we've co-written to some extent. You know, it might be 80-20 or 20-80, but generally songs that I sing lead in are ones that were more written by me or whatever, and vice versa for Kaylin. And then we've got some duets, and they're definite co-writes. And so it's done for sure that way.
Typically, the songs that are on your albums are co-writes between the two of you?
Yes.
Because it sounds to me that you do a lot of co-writing with other people. So you must appear on other people's albums quite a bit too. I'd like to delve into that too.
On occasion, there's I've got Emma is recording a track of mine out in England, and Brock just recorded one of a co-write with him, and he lives in LA, and lady down in Tennessee is doing one, and so I'm starting to get that stuff, and I've done some with Natalie Ladesseur and. So it's a slow grind, right?
Well, maybe you and I should grind the pencil sometime and do some
Absolutely.
co-writing.
I'm totally into it.
I didn't know how to spell Zoom till March of 2020.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you were quite comfortable in that medium before that. So you were probably writing and co-writing all over the world for quite a while.
Yeah, I was doing it through Skype for many years, really.
Yeah.
Because moving out here and a couple of buddies that were songwriters.
Absolutely, that's right. Yeah.
We did it through Skype or Zoom now, mostly Zoom. And yeah, I bought I drank the Kool-Aid. I bought the pro Zoom account, and here I am.
That's right.
Yeah.
You might call it Kool-Aid. I'll call it lemonade.
Yeah.
The world got very small.
Yeah.
And, your friends that you in far-flung places are now just a keystroke away. People from all corners of the planet. So,
yeah.
I mean, really, this is like, it's prime pasture land.
Yeah, it's great. It's writing on Zoom is not the same as writing in person. I still prefer to write in person, but I haven't done it for 2 years. Well, I had one person over a while back, but I'm really looking forward to writing in person again and getting into the writing room physically, because it's just better. This is different. I like a lot of the aspects of writing on Zoom, shared documents and all that kind of thing. And being able to record very easily what you're doing and those kind of things. It's a great tool. So, yeah.
We're going to play some of your music. We'd like to visit a couple of your albums you did with Campbell and Green.
Sure.
And we'll continue this conversation.
Of your coffee cup in the morning before I'm up, the waking yawn you take to greet the day. I can hear a symphony that plays your living melody. I love the sound of you. I love your voice, your breath, the beating of your heart, the whistling tune you chase but never catch. Oh, I love the sound of you. The song is always new. I love the sound of you.
Your footsteps coming down the stairs, a rhythm I'd know anywhere. Your laugh when you tease me just for fun, but the sweetest sound I'll ever hear, one that rings out crystal clear, the sound of you saying I love you. I love your voice, your breath, the beating of your heart, the whistling tune you chase but never catch. Oh, I love the sound of you. The song is always new. I love the sound of you. When you're not around, the silence calls your name. If the music stops, I'll never be the same. Oh, I love the sound of you. I love your voice, your breath, the beating of your heart, the whistling tune you chase but never catch. Oh, I love the sound of you. The song is always new. I love the sound of you. I love your voice, your breath, the beating of your heart, the whistling tune you chase but never catch. Oh, I love the sound of you. The song is always new. I love the sound of you. Oh, I love the sound of you. The song is always new. I love the sound of you.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more of the Atlantic Indie Roundabout, right here at CIOE 97.5 FM and streaming to the world at www.communityradio.ca.
When I was a lad in school, my teachers taught me just what they knew. They said, Bobby, now the numbers don't lie, and I believed what they said to be true. And I heard B.B. King sing about his sweet home, Chicago. And he told me that, man, he told me this. He told me that 2 and 2 is 4, and 4 and 2 is 6. I can prove that they're wrong, 'cause I've got these numbers tricked. It all adds up to one thing. It's a fact that lasts forever. 1 and 1, it don't make 2. I know it might sound clever. It all adds up to one thing, and this I know is true. 'Cause love makes one out of me and you. Years ago, when you took my hand, there were 7 wonders in the world. I saw the promised land. Yeah, we walked and talked and walked 8 days a week. And then one day, on the 11th hour, that's when I heard you speak. You said it all adds up to one thing. Fact that'll last forever. 1 and 1, it don't make 2. I know it might sound clever. It all adds up to one thing, and this I know is true. 'Cause love makes one out of me and you. Love of ours, there'll be no great divide. With each day that passes by, it seems to multiply. Well, it all adds up to one thing. It's a fact that lasts forever. 1 and 1, it don't make 2. I know it might sound clever. Yeah, it all adds up to one thing. This I know is true. 'Cause love makes one out of me and you. Me and you. 'Cause love makes one out of me and you. Just me and you. 'Cause love makes one out of me and you.
So here we are back in the roundabout with Robert Campbell. We've already listened to a couple of his tongs, and maybe we'll discuss them right now. The first one at the beginning of the segment, of course, A Simple Life.
Yeah.
And then Don't Take Your Troubles to the Grave.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us the backstory on those?
Sure, man. Well, we were talking about co-writing, and the first one, A Simple Life, was a co-write with a guy out of Ottawa area. His name is, great name, North Easton. And he's a wonderful songwriter. Look him up. He's great. He actually did the video for that tune. It was a co-write, just like you and I are in the room here in Zoom. And I said, "Hey man, how you doing?" And he said, "Well, it was a tough day, and I was having a bad day. Very tough time with overloaded with gigs and work and stuff. But we're both burnt out, And he's got he's got like 5 kids, right? So it was like, oh man, you know. And I said, yeah, I wish I had a simple life. And he says, that's our title. Bang. And we went off and wrote the tune. And we ended up recording that with Jamie Robinson producing. And that's the story of that one. Don't Take Your Troubles to the Grave was actually a similar kind of situation, but with my buddy Ivan Boudreau out in BC, a longtime friend, great bass player, great guitar player, and songwriter. And he was whinging about something. I can't remember what it was. I said, yeah, you can't take your troubles to the grave, you know. And so we ended up writing that tune. And that's often how it happens from a piece of a song or you know, we'll go into the room with, you know, some lick, you know, or some feel, or it's great. I love this co-writing thing of just building it up wherever the inspiration comes from when you're in the middle of it, right?
Sometimes you don't know when they're going to happen. It's just something happens. You weren't planning on writing a song today, but like I said, a title kicks in, or you're talking to somebody in a conversation. Yeah. And at the next thing you know, it's like, where did that one come from? You know? Yeah. And it could be the simplest strike of a couple of keys on the piano or a note. And you can't predict it, but you're I take it. I mean, piano is your primary instrument, obviously.
Yes. I do write on guitar occasionally. I mean, I've got a couple of songs on albums that I don't play the guitar on, but I started them on guitar.
So, what do you have in the pipeline right now for your music that's going to be coming out?
Well, because Caelan's basically retired from live performance. We'll do some recording and maybe releasing under Campbell and Green, but I'm focusing on just me, Robert Campbell, and getting out and doing gigs. I'm playing, I've played a couple of gigs, a trio and a duo gig with a drummer, and I will be doing some more of those. We're playing Barley's again. And,
yes, I saw that, and it's coming back. It's nice.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, let's say you're doing a solo gig, okay?
Yep.
Let's play this. Okay, give us your opening number. What do you open up with?
I might open up with something like, if I'm playing in a band, I'll often just start out with a groove thing.
My baby may not look like one of those bunnies from a Playboy book. She's got something, yeah, it's greater than gold. My baby, she's got so much soul that she's got that kind of loving, kissing and a hugging. I'm sure it's melt on, I'm glad that I'm a fellow, and you know, she knocks me off my feet. Have mercy on me, yeah, she knocks me off my feet. But there ain't no girl in the whole wide world who can love me like she do.
Something like that, right?
Oh, that's fantastic. Let's say somebody wants to hire you to play a gig. Have piano willing to travel?
Have piano willing to travel, I guess. Especially now that I've rejigged my brain into thinking that it's me and not us, right? With Caelan and I doing our duo thing, because we toured Europe 3 times, we toured Canada many times, and are via rail artists on board back and forth across Canada. So we were really busy for 6 or 7 years. So that's partly why Caelan is happy to sit at home and paint and teach and lead her choir. But if people call me up to do a gig, I'm happy to do a gig. If I'm going to promote my own stuff, I want to be me.
Obviously, you make a great side guy. I mean, you do sideman work and happily, and that's great. And staying busy is a lot of what it's all about these days. The amount of time we have left to pursue our careers, you want to make the best of it, and you want to, you want to exploit what you do. Yeah. Well, we're going to play some more of your music. Okay. It's been a pleasure talking to you today.
Thanks. It's great.
Granddad worked as a money man, ran the general store. Daddy was born up the Coal Branch, the foothills at his door. Aging trinkets in a wooden box, I sit here trying to pick this lock. Learn about my father's days, still I cannot say I've walked a mile in the old man's shoes. How do I carry on with his golden rules? How do I walk a mile in the old man's shoes? He worked and spoke as no one could. He stood 10 feet tall. Far and wide they heard his name like a siren's call. Sitting in his chair that rocks, the silence broken by the ticking clock. Long past the twilight hour, never will he call. I'll walk a mile in the old man's shoes. How do I carry on with his golden rules? How do I walk a mile in the old man's shoes? The metal of the man is hard to measure. You don't see it when he's walking in this land. Not until his passing days do you see the treasure. And he's resting there, cradled in God's hands. The things we've learned from our father's days, just can't count them all. Holding on to the memory, one day I hope you'll find the key. Son of mine, will you ever see your granddad here inside of me? Pull on your favorite boots, take a walk with me, and walk a mile in the old man's shoes. How do I carry on with his golden rules? How do I walk a mile in the old man's shoes? Walk a mile in the old man's shoes.
Last fall, we had the pleasure to enjoy a concert with Christine Campbell and Kim Dunn at the Waverley Heritage Museum. It was a fantastic event and was hosted by Dave Carroll. Christine Campbell stepped up to the plate and she hit it out of the park with an Etta James tune, followed up with a Kim Dunn original yet to be recorded called Tweener. And we're bringing it to you tonight right here on The Roundabout. Enjoy.
This is a little bit of Etta James.
My lonely days are over, and life is like a song, yeah. Oh, at last, the skies above our room soaked in clover. Since the night I looked at you, oh, I had a dream I could speak to, a dream that I have never known. I had a thrill I could press my cheek to, a thrill that I have never known. Oh, you smile, and then the spell was cast, and here we are in heaven, yeah, for you are mine at last. Thank you.
It's incredible.
This is not a song that I recorded yet. Okay, this happens at a lot of festivals. Mostly, you see it all the time at Stanfest, where you know, like the main stage finishes up a set. Some feature artist does their set, and as they're getting ready for the next set, you know, the crew comes on and all kinds of commotion. They're setting up the stage and tearing half it down and resetting it and moving everything. They're setting up for the next band, and the crowd is like dispersing and going to the bathroom or the beer tent or whatever. They're talking, and amidst all of this confusion and everything, often somebody will just, you know, saunter out from backstage, and it could be anybody, you know, Dave Gunning, Matt Ann, or whatever, and they'll do a song. They're called, anybody know what they're called? They're called the tweener, right? It's a scary thing, man. I mean, you know, I'd be terrified if I had to do that. I mean, nobody's paying attention, but it's been known to actually launch careers. If you nail it, if you hit it out of the park, it's quite something. If you can grab their attention, you get them. So that's what this here song is all about. Something that happened to me when I was down there in Kansas at the Stan Rogers Festival one year. I was sitting backstage down in Kansas. I wasn't doing anything. Stranger up and asked me if I knew how to sing. He didn't wait for my reply. He couldn't know my voice was gone. All he said was, 30 seconds, you're on. You see, the festival director has got the changeover blues. He's pacing back and forth so fast, he's wearing out his shoes. He's got that crazy look, he's pulling out his hair. He says, good God Almighty, man, we can't have dead air. See what I mean? So I said, I'm not prepared, man. I wouldn't know what to do. He said, don't worry about all that. Just do anything you want to. Do the one about that Sonny guy, you know, the farmer. I think he lives on a farm. You know, just go out there and kill him with your churn. So I thought about it and I figured, I could be a balladeer. I could rock and roll. I got country. I got folk. I could bare my heart and soul. I could get down and dirty or play it pretty clean. I'll be your tweener tonight. That's right. Are you with me?
Yeah.
What is it? At the drop of a hat, you gotta be ready to go. Because without guys like us, the night could lose its flow. Cause there's techies to my left and techies to my right. And my name ain't even in the lineup tonight. They didn't give me center stage, but that's all right. I ain't crying. Besides, out there, I could bomb. Feel like dying. But then again, I might steal the show. Be a star. Can you guys tell me how I'm doing so far? Oh, thank you very much. That was all very nice. Let's try it one more time. Can you guys tell me how I'm doing so far? Yeah. They told me to do only one, definitely not two, but with applause like that, I'm doing 5 for you. So here I sit, just giving it a shot. I got no fame or fortune, but tunes I got. So I could be a balladeer, I could rock or roll. I got country, I got folk, I could bare my heart and soul. I could get down and dirty or play it pretty clean. I'll be your tweeter tonight. Yeah, I could rock and roll or be a balladeer. Maybe they'll ask me back next year. Yes, I am a tweener, nobody keener. Hey, that Kim Dunn's amazing, man. You should have seen her. My job is done. On with the show. Wouldn't I really love to have a standing O? And I'll be your tweener tonight. All right. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Oh, it's too bad that the cameras didn't pick up that standing ovation.
Yeah, that was there.
That was truly a fabulous night with 2 fabulous musicians from the east coast of Canada. The Waverley Heritage Museum hosted a series of live streams in the fall of 2020, and we'll feature some more of them in later episodes. Next up on the Roundabout is a very early recording by Glory Hound. Now, this is actually Glory Hound and the Skyhawks, which at that time featured Adam Baldwin on keyboards. The song is called Free of You, and if you listen closely, you might hear a little bit of yours truly on them background vocals. Check this out.
Well, don't talk to me about every little thing that's wrong with you. Your words are getting thin and I try to break off, start somewhere new. Well, no one believes me. This time I'ma dig as deep as I can dig. Don't need to lie. Every one of my matches just got lit. It's to be free, yeah, free of you. It's to be free, yeah, free of you. Well, don't bother to call. I ran out of good things I used to say. And the rain from the sky feels a little more heavy than yesterday. You still don't believe me that I'm stuck on this track for way too long. Key that I got is wrong. It's to be free, yeah, free of you. I wanna be free, yeah, free of you. I just might follow through. Believe it or not, I still got something to lose. Change the pace, I just might follow through. Yeah, believe it or not, I still got something to lose. Hey! Just not follow through. But believe it or not, I still got some to lose. 'Cause I wanna be free, free of you. Wanna be free, free of you.
Now, this next song actually took 45 years in the making. It features one of my best friends and writing partner, Randy Turner, singing Freedom's Gonna Be My Lady Tonight. Randy is the co-writer of this song. Now, Randy doesn't typically sing, but his style and the soul, I absolutely love his version. His world debut on radio, Randy Turner singing Freedom's Gonna Be My Lady Tonight.
Shaped like a shot glass on a Saturday night. Freedom's gonna be my lady tonight. Had a little taste just an hour ago. She's my best kept secret, my ace in the hole. With every empty bottle there's always a show. But freedom is the only lady I know. Shaped like a shot glass on a Saturday night. she's never out of sight. Freedom's gonna be my lady tonight. Sweating all night on a sticky dance floor. Pants are getting wet, my feet are getting sore, leaving me begging and screaming for more. Freedom is what I completely adore. Shaped like a shot glass on a Saturday night. Freedom's gonna be my lady tonight. Looking right at me and I'm feeling alright. Freedom's gonna be my lady tonight. Never asking where I am or when I'm coming home. The lady knows she got me, body, mind, and soul. She'll always say she loves me, but she will never know. She'll do me like a sailor on the last night home. There when I need her and not when I don't. She'll always say she loves me, but she knows that I won't. At the end of the day, she's all I want to see. Freedom is the only lady for me. Shaped like a shot glass on a Saturday night. Freedom's gonna be my lady tonight. She's standing in the shadows, but she's never out of sight. Freedom's gonna be my lady tonight. Staring right at me and I'm feeling alright. Freedom's gonna be my lady tonight. Just one more shot, now I'm out like a light. Freedom's gonna be my lady tonight. Freedom's gonna be my lady tonight. Freedom's gonna be my lady tonight. Freedom's gonna be my lady tonight.
Thanks for listening to the Atlantic Indie Roundabout with me, your host, Maurice Aucoin. And from our village to yours, take care and good night.